What's up, family? Jamie here. All right, let's just get into it. This is in Q on August Tuesday, August 13th. I am going to look and see if I can find the 2022 YouTube model during my trading window. Uh, I am forward testing this model for the month of August. It is a model taught by ICT, Inner Circle Trader on YouTube. If you have not studied his 2022 mentorship, excuse me, I have it linked in the description below. I will not go through all the steps to seeing the model, um, or it might even already be here. I'm not walking through it. I'm just doing this for my journal to demonstrate that this model shows up every day. I can trade inside of the New York kill zone from 7 a.m. Oops, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And there's a high probability that I will see my model every day. So first, I want to acknowledge from my notes that how price reacted to our key times. That is an indication on what we can anticipate on the day. Then I want to go down into the 5-minute chart. And I will like to say down here, on the 2-minute chart. Now I would have just had to have this open and I just would have had to see it. But here is an entry for the model on this fair value gap right here. I would like to think that I would have been comfortable with that, especially because we had a stop right here. A stop right here. We reacted off of a key time. Also the new week opening gap. So I would like to think if I was on the 2-minute chart that I would see that entry right there and I would take that trade. So we got that. And then just looking up through the chart here, we actually have another opportunity here. Quiet as it's kept right there, which that turns out to be, let's see. Um, just about an OTE. But the nice thing about that is that it came into 50% of the fair value gap, closed above it. That's a good sign. That is beautiful. So then we're working our way up here. We had the 8:30 news. Now, what kind of threw me out because I was watching this in real time and I was like, okay, here's a model here. And, what if I was just tape reading? I was like, what if I had my order here at 50% of the fair value gap? But, you know, being that we had this reaction off of all these key times down here and off of the new week opening gap, I would hope that I get to the point where it's like I'm not so quick to look for a short. Plus, this model is a little loose for me. I like them when they're a little tighter. Um, just, the way the layout of the candles are, it's just, I don't know how to say it any different than, loose and tight. So for example, up here, let me take this off. We were looking on the 5-minute chart. Now what I have to, no, 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 no. It was a 2-minute. Yeah. Um, what I have to, I don't know what I was gonna say. Here's a fair value gap here. So putting the fibs on that, it came down to 50%. So, hopefully in this case, I would be like, well, there's a fair value gap, but I want to get in at least at 50%. And then we have the unicorn model there as well, to hold me up. So that would have been good. Sorry, my throat, my throat. And then what was happening today is, a lot of times we think that price is going to come and fill a RTH gap that was created overnight. So we have the lower gap down here and the upper gap up here once we had New York open. But based on how price acted to our key times overnight, I was not anticipating this gap to fill. I was anticipating this gap to fill where we had our lower gap. Let me not get confused. Let me make sure because I think I had deleted the line, but let me just show the gap so we have it um right here. So let me see if I can make this like, let me do this so I can see it better. And let's do this. Let's do that. All right. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. That's an overnight gap. Hold on. I'm tripping. That's today's gap. I'm looking for, hold on to your love. This gap right here. This gap is the one I was trying to mark. So we know that this RTH gap was filling today. Like I just based on how price um was at how price printed overnight. Like this I was like, okay, we're gonna fill this gap right here. All right, sorry about that. All right, so um you know this gap was sitting here this whole time, and it tried to come up here, couldn't quite make it. Tried to come up here, couldn't quite make it. Tried, came up here, pushed down, came up here again. So it was just knocking at the door of this RTH gap yesterday and doing all that chip choppy chop. And then finally, it went and took it. Um, and another thing that I pointed out in my chart from yesterday is how price likes to seek 50%, not all the time, nothing is absolute, but of the previous day range. And I just want to point out how interesting this is. This is the previous day's candle, and that's 50% right there. So that's really, really good. So we got that RTH gap fill. So I had the understanding today that we would be bullish. Um, if I was on the 2-minute chart, I saw an entry here. Was that the 2-minute chart where we had an entry here? We had an entry here. Or I got faked out here thinking, it was short, knowing better, and like I should know better than that. And then finally, New York Open gave the entry there. And ultimately, it would be targeting that RTH gap fill, which would, even if I just got in here and I missed that early entry, delivered 116 points. If I had gotten in down here, let's see, this would have been a monster entry right here. And this would have ended up being 277 points. So that's a good day. So this is day 9. And I saw 3 models today for the long with a bullish bias. And that's it. That's it. It does not get any easier than that. It got a little tricky Ricky in here, but knowing that we had this news candle and price had a retracement down for an OTE here. And then when it had this little move down right here, it did an OTE here. So again, there's your evidence that price is telling you that it's bullish. That's beautiful. I think that's all I want to say for today for my beautiful journal. And day of 9 the 2022 YouTube model showed up in the New York kill zone 3 times. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Goodbye.